वासुदेवाय Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridayantasto Hyabadrani Vidunoti Suhrutsatam Nashtaprayeshva Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 41 and 42. Kanama Veera Vikyatam Vadhanyam Priyadarshanam Navrinita Priyam Praptam Madrishi Twadrisham Patim Kanama Veera Vikyatam Vadhanyam Priyadarshanam Navrinita Priyam Praptam Madrishi Twadrisham Patim Ka Nama Veera Vikyatam Vadhanyam Priyadarshanam Navrinita Priyam Praptam Madrishi Twadrisham Patim Ka, who, Nama, indeed, Veera, my dear hero, Vikyatam, famous, Vadhanyam, magnanimous, Priyadarshanam, beautiful, Na, not, Vrinita, would accept, Priyam, easily, Praptam, gotten, Madrishi, like me, Tvadrisham, like you, Patim, husband. Translation purport. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O my dear hero, who in this world will not accept a husband like you? You are so famous, so magnanimous, so beautiful, and so easily gotten. Purport. Every husband is certainly a great hero to his wife. In other words, if a woman loves a man, that man appears very beautiful and magnanimous. Unless one becomes beautiful in the eyes of another, one cannot dedicate his whole life to another. The husband is considered very magnanimous because he gives as many children to the wife as she likes. Every woman is fond of children. Therefore, any husband who can please his wife by sex and give her children is considered very magnanimous. Not only does the husband become magnanimous by begetting children, but by giving his wife ornaments, nice food and dress, he keeps her completely under submission. Such a satisfied wife will never give up the company of her husband. Manu Samhita recommends that to keep a wife satisfied, a husband should give her some ornaments because women are generally fond of home, ornaments, dresses, children, etc. In this way, the woman is the center of all material enjoyment. In this regard, the word Vikyatam is very significant. A man who is always famous for his aggression towards a beautiful woman, and such aggression is sometimes considered rape. Although rape is not legally allowed, it is a fact that women likes a man who is very expert at rape. Text 42. Kasya manaste bhuvi bhogi bhogyoho striya na sajjed bhujayor mahabhuja yonata vargadim alam grinoddatha smita valokena charatyapohitum Kasya manaste bhuvi bhogi bhogayoho striya na sajjed bhujayor mahabhuja yonata vargadim alam grinoddata smitavalokena charatyapohitam Kasya manaste bhuvi bhogi bhogayoho striya na sajjed bhujayor mahabhuja Yonata vargadim alam grinoddata smitavalokena charatyapohitam Kasyaha, whose, manaha, mind, te, your, bhuvi, in this world, bhogi bhogayoho, like the body of a serpent, striyaha, of a woman, na, not, sajjet, becomes attracted, bhujayoho, by the arms, mahabhuja, O mighty armed, yaha, one who, anatha varga, of poor women like me, adim, distress of the mind, alam, able, grina uddhata, by aggressive mercy, smita avalokena, by attractive smiling, charati, travels, apohitam, to dissipate. Translation and purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O mighty armed, who in this world will not be attracted by your arms, which are just like the bodies of serpents? Actually, you relieve the distress of husbandless women like us by your attractive smile and your aggressive mercy. We think that you are traveling on the surface of the earth just to benefit us only. Purport. When a husbandless woman is attacked by an aggressive man, she takes his action to be mercy. A woman is generally very much attracted by a man's long arms. A serpent's body is round and it becomes narrower and thinner at the end. The beautiful arms of a man appear to the woman just like the serpent's, and she very much desires to be embraced by such arms. The word anatha varga is very significant in this verse. Natha means husband, and it means without. A young woman who has no husband is called anatha, meaning one who is not protected. As soon as the woman attains the age of puberty, she immediately becomes very much agitated by sexual desire. It is therefore the duty of the father to get his daughter married before she attains puberty. Otherwise, she will be very much mortified by not having a husband. Anyone who satisfies her desire for sex at that age becomes a great object of satisfaction. It is a psychological fact that when a woman at age of puberty meets a man and the man satisfies her sexually, she will love that man for the rest of her life, regardless who he is. Thus, so-called love with in this material world is nothing but sexual satisfaction. नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनि नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. I humbly bow down to all the enlightened Vaishnavas and thank you for giving me an opportunity to purify myself. Happy Radhashtami to everybody. So we are in Canto 4, Chapter 25, text 41 and 42. So, so in terms of the overall scheme, what is being discussed here, the theme of the current chapter is last chapter we discussed about how the Prachetas, who are the sons of King Prachina Barhi, they approached Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva instructed them the process of the chanting the names of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the prayer called Rudra Gita, on which they meditated. They went to the ocean and then did their penance for 10,000 years, and their life became successful. But at the same time, Prachina Barhi, who is the father of these Prachetas, so he was a king, and this king Prachina Barhi was completely entangled in fruitive activities based off of Karma Kanda, and he was involved in animal sacrifices and anything and everything to do the fruitive actions which will give him material benefit. So so Narada Muni, who is effectively who's always compassionate on the fallen conditioned souls, he saw that Prachina Barhi, even though he was the king, he has gotten into this too entangled and enamored by the fruitive activities. So he came and took up the position of the spiritual master and wanted to instruct him as to what the goal of life is. So depending on each person's consciousness, the spiritual master can find out the right method to instruct the spiritual knowledge. So in this case, we know that Arjuna was instructed the Bhagavad Gita while he was in the battlefield. And Arjuna was at an elevated position and he was a friend of Krishna. So he could take the message of Bhagavad Gita. But for Prachina Barhi, since he was so enamored by the process of Karma Kandya, he had to be given allegorical references. So Narada Muni, to make him understand on his own, to get this self-reflection going, so he narrates the story of King Puranjana. And this story is a very wonderful story from Srimad Bhagavatam, and it has it's an allegorical story. By what allegorical I mean is like it is each character in the story actually represents a physical entity, and here King Puranjana is described as the person who is the conditioned soul. And it's mentioned how King Puranjana was completely wanting to have material enjoyment, and he was going from one place to another, and in nowhere he was able to find good material enjoyment. And it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that he went to a place which has 9 gates. And this place which has 9 gates is nothing but the human body. And this Puranjana is an allegorical reference to the conditioned soul. And the conditioned soul always wants to enjoy in this material world. So the 9 gates of the city of 9 gates is called the human body, which has 9 openings as well in the body. And then the story talks about Avijnata, who is the super soul, who is always the supreme companion to the soul. And then here in this verse, the reference is being made to a queen, and the queen is the Puranjana. When he comes to this city of nine gates, he is captivated by all these pleasures, sense pleasures, which are available in this city of nine gates. And then he sees this beautiful woman who is the queen, and he is so attracted to her. And the allegorical reference to this queen character is the material intelligence. So the material intelligence is the one which directs the mind and the senses. So the material intelligence, which is called kubuddhi, and that's the one which is making this soul getting attached to this material world, because it is giving all kinds of directions to the mind and senses to how to enjoy in this material world. So that's the queen, which is the allegorical reference. And here, both Puranjana and the queen, they meet, and the Puranjana is captivated by the queen, and similarly, the queen is also captivated by Puranjana. And the queen is saying that Puranjana has come to this place where he can enjoy for hundred years, because that's typically the lifetime of a human body. So she says that the Puranjana can enjoy here. And then here the description is about how glorious or how beautiful Puranjana looks. So the one key important takeaway from this is that the attraction between the material intelligence and the human the conditioned soul, right? So this has been going on for years and years, for so lifetimes after lifetime, and this attachment between the material intelligence and the conditioned soul is what keeps us together. This is what is called the bandha between the sukshma sarira and the soul. So this is what Srila Prabhupada explains in the Bhagavad Gita, where it says, "Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya." Just like how the clothes, we change clothes from one body when we are done for the day. Just like that, when the soul is done with this material body, it takes another material body, and this is done through the sukshma sarira. The sukshma sarira has all these vasanas which are captured from anadi janma, and all these vasanas are the one which carries the soul from one body to another body. Strotram chakshushi sparshanam cha rasanam granam eva cha adhisthana manaschaya vishayam upasevate. That's what it said in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that based on the vasanas, based on the inclinations which the soul has developed by executing his material intelligence, so it is getting another body based on what he has already done. So this particular dialogue between Puranjana and the king and the queen is actually explaining this anadi love or bondage which is between this material intelligence and the conditioned soul. So, there is a lot of explanation Srila Prabhupada gives about this attraction. And the second verse, which is the text 42, it talks about a very beautiful verse. It says, Smita Avalokena. Smita is like the beautiful smile. So here in this context, Puranjana's smile is being glorified by the queen. But I just got reminded by a verse in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Kapila Dev explains. He says, "Hasam hare ravanata kila lokativra sokashtu sagara visoshanam atyutaram sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya brumandale munikrite makaradvajasya." So if one has to get past this material world, and this material world is considered to be a place of misery. And this is explained in multiple places, where in Srimad Bhagavatam it said, "Samashrita ye pada pallava plavam padam param padam punya yasho murarehe padam padam yat vipadam natesham." So it said this particular material world is actually step after step is actually very, very dangerous, and we don't know when what would happen to anybody, right? So in that case, what's the easiest way to get past this material world? Samashta ye pada pallava plavam, which is to hold on to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in that process, we have all these different kinds of vices, right? Our attraction to this material intelligence, which has been explained here, that has been anadi, which has been coming to us from millions and millions of lifetimes. So how do we get past that? So here, Kapila Dev, in the verse I quoted, he says, Hasam hare avanata kila loka tivra shokashtu sagara. So everybody is in a world of distress. This material world is a world of distress. So, what is the way to get past this material world and tide over this sorrowful condition is to hasam harer avanata kila. Just focus on the beautiful smile of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna's smile is glorified here. It says anything connected to Krishna is glorious. So we saw how if we attach to the lotus feet of Krishna, then we can cross over the material world. But if we have sorrows even in this material condition, we have to just think about the beautiful smile of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hasam harer avanata kila lokativra. And then he says, Sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya bhrumandale munikrite makaradvajasya. It says, if in this material world, the attraction for sense enjoyment or sexual pleasure is so deep rooted. So how is it possible to get past this material world with all these conditionings? So here Kapiladeva explains that sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya bhrumandale munikrite makaradvajasya. So makaradvaja. So the person who's called Makaradvaja is the Cupid or the Kamadev. So he is the one who is actually captivating every living entity's attention and puts him into this spell of conditioning, right? So where he is so attracted to the sense enjoyment. So Makaradvaja, he himself is captivated by one thing, and Kapildev explains that is Brumandale Munikrite Makaradvajasya. So even though everybody is captivated by this Cupid, but if one concentrates like the Munis, like how they concentrate on the eyebrows of Krishna, which is so enticing. Even Kamadev, he gets so captivated by the eyebrows of Krishna. So the way for us forward is to take to this personal meditation about on the. So the goal of all these is like to understand that the material intelligence has this so much attachment. The conditioned soul has so much attachment to this material intelligence, and to get past this bondage is not a very easy activity. So it is only possible through the process of bhakti when one surrenders, supplicates himself to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and is able to meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead's speeches and to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead through his name, form, and activities. And that's the only way by which we'll be able to get past this material condition. So that's the takeaway from this message, right? So one thing is like we are the material intelligence is so captivating that the conditioned soul is always bound by it, and that is the root cause of all our miseries in terms of transmigration from one body to another body. And the process of stopping that is to actually meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and take shelter of his lotus feet. So with that, I would like to end my topic here. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to purify myself.